everybody, welcome back. Today we are going to talk about Colossal Order's first dev diary for Cities Skylines 2. It is called Road Tools, and I will pull it up. We're going to just read through the dev diary, talk about the things that they say, as well as like my own speculations of what it could mean, and then we are going to watch the accompanying video that they released, and then talk about what we see there. So hopefully, I know there's already a few videos out about this, but hopefully you get something new with my takeaways. First off, Avanya wrote this, so thank you, Avanya. Hi everyone, welcome to the exciting world of Cities Skylines 2 development diaries. Over the next few months, we will take you through everything the game has to offer, ranging from familiar features which have been expanded to elements brand new to the franchise. Let's take a look at the development of the game, its improvements compared to Cities Skylines, and the new and exciting features added to make building your dream city better than ever. Below you will find the feature highlight video, we're going to watch this later, with a quick overview of the different road tools. Check it out to see them in action before diving into the details of the road tools. We're going to watch it after because I would rather read this first. Roads are the backbone of a city, so naturally we start the development diaries by looking at how the road tools have been expanded for Cities Skylines 2. Our goal was to keep this experience familiar for returning players, ensure the tools are easy to learn for new players, and expand the options with wished for features like roundabouts, cut and fill roads, and parking lots. We got this photo, this image with how many features can you spot. There is a cathedral here that looks like a really nice asset. I mean, these buildings all look amazing. These little wall-to-wall residential all look like the same building with slight variations. So it would be kind of cool if maybe some of these buildings that come down have like random, like procedurally generated elements like props or colors or textures or whatever added to them, just to give that like variety and make it feel more like a more realistic city. We've got this wonderful track field, soccer fields over here. Don't know what this is, maybe a museum. It looks great. Obviously the lovely new bridges. And if you notice, there are no keys on the edges here. So I do wonder if this is going to be coming with the Bridges and Ports expansion, which is, if you look at the Steam listing for Cities Skylines 2, Ports and Bridges, or Bridges and Ports, is listed as the first DLC, I believe. I just imagine keys are going to be coming with that. It would be weird if they didn't. Oh, and actually, there's also this billboard, and I don't think we've seen billboards on assets in Cities Skylines 1. There's a few billboards here. Road Tools Overview. Building roads in Cities Skylines 2 is more flexible than its predecessor and allows for more creative use of the tools to help you realize your vision for the perfect road layout. You will find a variety of both new and returning options with road angles and enhanced curve tools to help you create the road network of your dreams. As a new feature, the grid mode allows you to create seamless city blocks with just 3 clicks. First, you place the starting corner of the road grid, then moving the mouse and clicking for the second time, you define its width, and finally, the third click sets the road grid's length. The grid layout becomes visible when adjusting the length of the grid in the final stage. So that sounds super easy to use. We actually saw this feature in the first gameplay trailer that they released not that long ago. It sounds so easy, super intuitive. The new Replace tool is similar to the old Upgrade tool, but allows you to change existing roads more freely and fine-tune the road network by adding grass, trees, wider sidewalks, or sound barriers. This tool, we'll see in the video, is so cool. It kind of reminds me of, I guess, like an easier version of intersection marking tool in the way that we can add details to existing roads, except now any road we can add crosswalks to, we can add trees to, yeah, it says wider sidewalks, sound barriers. And I imagine in the future, bike lanes, tram, train tracks, whatever. Like I bet all those things are going to be modular. There is a tweet I will put on the screen right now that confirms that bikes are not coming on release, which is interesting. And I would expect bikes to be released in some sort of free update, hopefully with other features, but if not, then maybe a pack with a bunch of bike related things like bike lanes, bike paths, maybe a city bike feature. This is something I would really love to see, where you like have to set up the rental stations for some sort of like rental bike. I think that'd be really cool. Parallel mode. Parallel mode makes it possible to automatically build 2 roads, such as highways, in parallel at a fixed and customizable distance. With parallel mode, all other road tool modes are still usable, so creating beautiful smooth highway curves is not only possible, but easy. Love that. There seems to be lots of features that we would have to get through mods on the workshop now just in the game, which is great for console players as well as PC players, of course. Road tools include multiple different snapping options and a comprehensive road guide system to make it easier to build the desired road layout even in challenging terrain. The road guides include information about elevation angle, displaying a numerical value of the slope steepness from the starting point of the road segment to the desired endpoint. So we have snap to existing geometry, snap to zoning cell length, snap to 90 degrees, size of the building, guidelines, and zone grid. I love the 90-degree angle snap. That's great. I mean, that's great because it was so hard to get in Cities Skylines 1. Wonderful. The roads, as noticed by a bunch of people, now come with water and heating and electricity built in when you place the roads down. So that saves us a lot of hassle of having to build in all the extra connections. Each step of road building can be easily canceled by pressing the right mouse button, while already built roads can be removed by using the bulldoze tool. Simple enough. Road building options. Road building has been designed to be faster and more flexible by allowing you to build roads across existing roads, creating intersections in places where the roads cross each other. This also makes it possible to place large intersections on existing road layouts easier and faster. I noticed this in the gameplay trailer. They showed that you can literally just hover over a bunch of roads, click at your end spot, and it will automatically create the intersections. I mean, that's wonderful. Makes it so much easier than the way it was in Cities Skylines 1, where you had to click every single intersection to create it. Road placement options have been expanded to include cut and fill construction for roads digging through the terrain and elevated roads running on top of other roads. Cut roads are built using the road elevation options, where the first negative values create cut roads before the road turns into a tunnel. Elevated roads, on the other hand, require sufficient clearance below them. Using the road elevation to raise them up allows building them across roads that run parallel to them. Building elevated roads is as easy as building a bridge or an overpass. I think this is amazing. I mean, look how realistic this looks with the highway going above the regular street roads underneath. This is great. I mean, I can see this making it so much easier for like trains, subways, any other type of like elevated track or road. Couldn't do this before, so I love this so much. Also really love that here we have this elevated road that has like the built-in retainer wall, which is really, really, really nice. And I think same here. This is a hill. It's digging into the hill. And so we also have the retainer wall above. It looks amazing. It really does. So this says stack roads to save space, or when adding in a highway to an existing part of the city and cut through the terrain with the cut and fill roads. The roads are also more flexible to build in Cities Skylines 2. Connecting different sizes of roads together can create interesting intersection options. For example, splitting a small two-way road into entering and exiting highway ramps is now fast and easy. However, one of the most exciting new features in the road system is the ability to create entry and exit ramps for highways, with proper acceleration and deceleration lanes that merge with the highway itself. This is achieved by first building a portion of the highway with a highway type that has one additional lane, and then connecting that additional lane with a single lane highway, forming a ramp. They show how to do this in the video, and it looks so easy and it looks amazing. Also, what a bunch of people have noticed is in the video, you'll see that the tool snaps to each lane, which makes us think that we have a much finer degree of like just like manipulating the roads, because now we can manipulate them by lane. And this exit ramp in particular is really nice or like cool looking, because it actually splits into two down here. Also, the trees look really good in this picture. I just feel like everything is going to be so much more realistic. I mean, graphically, of course, but also just in the way now that we can manipulate roads. Split roads and merge lanes easily to create realistic looking highway roads. These look so good. Also, I'm like noticing some of these elevated roads have the like built-in retaining wall or some sort of like structure to hold it up, and then sometimes it's empty underneath and it just has like the poles, that's not like the right word, but the like legs, I guess, to hold it up. So I wonder if there are different types of elevations, like if we can like adjust the aesthetic super simply or not. Like if you look here, it has these support beams, I guess, versus like a wall. Roads and intersections. Roads are organized into familiar categories small roads, medium roads, large roads, and of course, highways. Each category features multiple different options from two-way roads to one-way roads and asymmetric variations. So great. In addition to the elevated versions of each road, there are various bridges in different styles. There are no grass or tree-lined versions of roads, as these, among others, are added using the replace tool. This is a wonderful upgrade. Now our road menu is going to be so less cluttered, easier to just pick the road type we want and then just adjust them bespoke depending on the situation. So I love that. Build your city using different road options and customizations. And just going to look a little more closely at this. Already this is super cool. We can see that this lane here is going 65 miles per hour. This street is going 35 miles per hour. It's curious. I feel like we're going to be able to individually adjust speeds for roads, and it's not going to be dependent on the road type. I think it's going to be individually adjustable dependent on what we want to do with it, which I think is fabulous. Also, this just looks so good. Roads can be customized by adding bus lanes and tram tracks to them. Oh, I was saying that using the additional network building tools. You can also create dedicated roads that only allow buses and service vehicles to operate on them, and tram tracks can be built separately, bypassing road traffic altogether. Oh my god. Believe it or not, I am still recovering from my coughing spree and the air pollution. Anyways, I was saying earlier I thought it was gonna be super easy to add things like bus lanes, bike lanes, tram lanes, whatever to existing roads now with the what are they calling the tool? With the replace tool. It's going to be a lot easier. I'm just really excited for just how much, how in depth we can go with that. It's great. Look how smoothly it merges into this intersection and then just with the rest of traffic. It looks so good. Walkable areas in the city can be created using the pedestrian street along with pedestrian path and bridges. The pedestrian street prohibits all other vehicular traffic except for service vehicles and delivery trucks, bringing resources to local businesses. Fantastic. We are getting parks and what's it called? Pedestrian and promenades and places. We are getting pedestrian only roads in the base game in Cities Skylines 2. I think it's just everything that all the things that we thought should be in the base game are now coming to the base game, which makes me feel like the DLC is going to be so much more specific and give a lot more for the people that want those niche experiences that come with those packs. So I'm just really thrilled. Pedestrian streets, I imagine, are going to be same as regular streets. We can use the replace tool to add trees, to add grass, whatever other details. Put pedestrians in focus with pedestrian roads or paths with multiple pedestrian bridge options. Beautiful looking bridge. This looks so good. I love that there's multiple options, and I really hope we get some of those special ones based off real life bridges. There's a really nice pedestrian bridge in Nashville. It would be super cool if we could I don't know, get those styles. I'm sure people will also just build them out in the workshop as well. But yeah, looks great. And also these sound barriers look really nice too. In Cities Skylines 2, the intersection system has been overhauled to use easier placement rules. The game features a collection of pre-made intersections which can be placed in empty areas or over existing roads, connecting the intersection to the existing road network automatically. So they just took a mod that we had on the workshop, gave it to us in-game. That's amazing. The pre-made intersections include complex highway intersections as well as pre-made transition pieces that can be placed between highways and regular roads. Great. Because honestly, I think one of the things that I just never did that well was transitioning my highway into a regular road, just the end of the highway, So it's kind of cool that they're gonna give us some options for that. Also, this intersection in general looks so complex, and I actually watched a video from $2.20 who basically said yeah, this was complex and it also wasn't hard to make. I will link his video in the description, but I was just super impressed. Hearing about his experiences building out the city for the trailer and just takeaways after playing the game for over 100 hours are fascinating. So definitely go check out his videos if you don't watch him already or haven't seen them yet. A brand new feature in road building is roundabouts, which are built on existing intersections simply by selecting the preferred size and placing it on the intersection. There are multiple different size options from small suburban roundabouts to large roundabouts fitting multiple lanes. The placed roundabout adopts the lane configuration of the connecting roads, adjusting the lanes to suit all exits. The vehicles follow roundabout traffic rules when entering and exiting the intersection. They make it so easy for us now. You can literally hover over any intersection, turn it into a roundabout. All the roundabout rules are in place, so no more TMPE like adjustments needed. They come in different sizes. Some have the grass in the center, some are just pavement, different types of roads. I think it's just great. It's easy, they're beautiful. I love them. Roundabouts come in 4 different sizes. Parking lots. Vehicles have to park somewhere when citizens aren't driving them. And in Cities Skylines 2, this is handled through designated parking lots and parking structures. In addition to traditional roadside parking, you are able to provide the citizens with parking lots and parking facilities. When citizens plan their way around the city, their decision-making is affected by the availability of parking in a manner similar to public transport options. Citizens have different preferences regarding time management, comfort levels, and usage of money. Some want to find a parking spot as close as possible regardless of the cost, while others are willing to spend more time walking from a far away but affordable parking spot or public transport stop. The road's info view shows the availability of parking in the city as well as its usage level, allowing you to make decisions based on the information. Maybe your city needs more parking lots, or maybe additional public transport options are in order. Okay, so I have a lot to say about this because I did have the question of like, will parking needs be affected by public transit? This sentence kind of answers that, that maybe offering other public transit options will just adjust the parking demand. But I actually wonder, like, in terms of the citizen preferences, what is that going to mean for the gameplay? Like, what is that going to mean? Because are their preferences truly just like random based off the citizen? Are they going to be dependent on like where the citizen lives? Because, you know, like a suburban lifestyle, like a citizen that lives maybe in like a suburb or more residential area is going to have different expectations and more likely will be driving a citizen that lives in a high density, deep, like super urban environment, right? Because they're more likely going to take like public transit. So I'm curious, like, how are the citizen preferences determined? Are we going to be able to see them? Another thing that was brought up in the trailer that we'll see later is that trees are still helpful for reducing noise pollution. And so one of the things I really didn't like about Cities Skylines 1 noise pollution was that deep in the heart of a city, if you put a subway stop close to residential, people get really mad because it's super loud. But the reality of living in a city is that you want to be close to public transport. Like, living near a subway stop is ideal, even if there's more noise. Like, people in cities know it's going to be noisier and kind of accept that that's like part of living in a city. And so I'm curious too, with the noise pollution, are most citizens living in an urban environment going to be like cooler with noise pollution? We might not have to worry so much about that, but will we have to worry about like citizens in a suburban environment? Like, maybe we have a highway that's going past a low density residential neighborhood, and it would make sense for us to make sure there are sound barriers. Like, maybe those citizens are more sensitive to noise pollution because of where they live. I think that would make so much sense. So if they apply, like, we've got an urban citizen versus like a suburban citizen, and apply the like parking preferences and the noise pollution preferences based off of that, I think that makes a lot of sense to me. I really hope they do that. I'm also like super excited about parking garages in general, being something that we can like utilize. Road maintenance. Other road building options include the road maintenance depot, which sends out vehicles to keep roads in good condition, fighting wear and tear and decreasing the chances of traffic accidents. During winter, snowplows are deployed to keep the roads clear of snow. The roads info view shows data about the condition of the roads, coloring them green, good condition, to red, poor condition. Poor road quality or excess snow can slow down traffic and cause traffic jams. Road conditions also affect the chance of traffic accidents occurring, which halt traffic and cause gridlocks until they're secured and cleared. Road maintenance takes care of these traffic accident aftermaths, clearing out the debris and allowing traffic to continue safely after the police have secured the site of the accident. I am so interested in seeing, like, will rain affect the amount of traffic accidents? Is that a possibility? I'm curious how many traffic accidents are like going to happen in the game. Is it dependent like on the size of the city? I mean, I would imagine a bigger city would mean more chances of accidents occurring. Are they more likely to happen on the highway or on local roads? Because I think and I'm gonna fact check this and I'll put it in the video when I'm editing, but I thought we saw something that said that vehicles will move out of the way for emergency vehicles. So if that's true, I wonder how like the traffic accidents will be handled. Like, are they gonna like move the accident over to the side of the street if it's like a small one, and then traffic can continue and pass by just a little more slowly? Or like, are there going to be like big pileups too that just like block the entire street? I'm just super curious. Another thing too is like I feel like with the possibility of having traffic accidents and holding up traffic, 100% we should get a shut down the city pack, DLC pack. Shut down the city DLC pack. This is where we get protests, parades, and races. Quite frankly, if they don't release this, I don't know what they're thinking. Now, Colossal Order, if you watch this video and you're like, wow, that's such a great idea, feel free to hit me up because I have plenty more. But also, I would love to be a part of like helping create that pack. But yeah, parades, because who doesn't love like a good holiday parade that just like takes up a whole like 5-10 blocks of a city. Same with like a marathon or bike race or even like an F1 race. Protests, I think protests would be really interesting, especially with having policies in a game, getting like a large chunk of citizens to protest on the street and like get us to either change policies or like just as like a feature, like maybe they're protesting a like company, a business within our city, you know, maybe it's something like we don't even have to react to. It's just like something that happens. I think that would be really cool. Additional road options. You can also place and remove traffic lights, crosswalks, add stop signs, and control turn lanes, directing the flow of traffic. Too many pedestrians cross a busy intersection? Remove crosswalks and build a pedestrian overpass circumventing the vehicle traffic. I do want to comment on this because and actually, I'm going to make this bigger. In the original announcement trailer, we saw that on the corners of sidewalks, we saw that the sidewalk dipped for like strollers, wheelchairs, and basically had like accessible features for crosswalks. And in this particular screenshot, I don't see that. I don't see that on either of any of these parts of the sidewalk. And I know they mentioned that this is not final imagery. This is not final footage of the game. So maybe they will add it in or change it. I really do think they should. It just makes it more realistic. But I was going to say, on the topic of pedestrian overpasses, we haven't seen if there will be elevators for pedestrian overpasses, if we're going to have options between stairs and ramps. But I think like in terms of like stairs, ramps, elevators, as well as I don't know what they're called, the sidewalk dips. These are all things that are like, that allow for a more accessible city. And I definitely would love to see them in game. I know like in Cities Skylines 1, we did have the little like power chair user model that would like just show up as part of the citizens. But it would be cool to have like more deliberate design for disabilities in our own city. Continuing on, roadside decorations are no longer separate road types, but tools that add or remove the decoration feature from the roads, which have both a visual and a mechanical effect. Sound barriers can be added to highways to decrease the noise from high-speed traffic. Wide sidewalks create more space for pedestrians but remove roadside parking. And trees can be added to the sidewalks to control the noise pollution in residential areas, or just beautify the roadsides. Road features can be easily removed by clicking the right mouse button when hovering over the additional road feature. I wonder like if this is going to change, like if we're going to be able to get wide sidewalks and street parking. Like I don't know why why one and not the other. I'm not sure. But I do love the feature of just being able to edit any road with any of these. That concludes this first development diary focused on the new and improved road tools. We're excited to hear your impressions and see the city layouts and intersections you build with the new tools. Which road features are you looking forward to? Let us know below. And don't forget to check back next week where we discuss how citizens and vehicles make their way through your city. So yeah, today was road tools. Every week they're releasing a new dev diary. So this week was road tools, next week traffic AI, public and cargo transportation the week after, then zones and signature buildings, city services, electricity and water, maps and themes, climate and seasons, economy and production, citizen simulation and life path, game progression, sound and music, and cinematic camera and photo mode. So lots to come. I didn't mention the camera mode, but I did see it in the gameplay trailer. I just like forgot to mention it in my video, but I'm so excited to have like a built-in game feature for taking like those little photos or like videos even. I know we like kind of had it, but not really. So I'm really excited for whatever's to come in this game.
The roads crisscrossing your city are more than a means of transport. By connecting citizens to their work, families, and communities, they are the veins and arteries of your city's beating heart. Every pathway you carve out shapes the routine every day and opens the door to the extraordinary events that define their lives. City building starts with roads. Roads allow people, goods, and services to move through your city, of course. And in Cities Skylines 2, all roads except for highways automatically carries water, electricity, and sewage lines. It's a shortcut that lets you focus on what you love about city building sooner. You'll construct and refine your road network using road tools. They're easy to learn and flexible, inviting you to follow your creative impulses. Returning players will welcome upgrades to the road tools that introduce several of the most wished-for features. Other features are totally new. Use the road tools to create seamless city blocks in just 3 clicks. In no time, you'll lay long, beautiful stretches of road to link lively residential and industrial districts to your buzzing city center. Just like that, you'll thread traffic along wide, curving streets and elegant, elevated highways. You'll even add bridges and tunnels in only a few clicks. Intersections have been overhauled in Cities Skylines 2. Placement rules are less restrictive, and you can use pre-made intersections on new and existing roads. You can also add roundabouts. Yep, they're here. From gentle suburban roundabouts to roaring multi-lane roundabouts, it's never been easier to engineer uninterrupted streams of traffic. That's because roads will be configured automatically, so vehicles can enter and exit the roundabout safely. Simply drop your preferred roundabout over an existing intersection and ta-da! A whole new way to move people, goods, and services through your city. Decide the direction of traffic and how it flows by placing traffic lights, crosswalks, and directional no-turn traffic signs and stop signs. Erect sound barriers and construct parking lots. That's another new feature in Cities Skyline 2. And for returning players, it means Christmas has come early. You can even add decorative touches if you want to. They don't just make your city pretty, they can be useful too. So those trees you use to line sidewalks? Add charm and reduce noise pollution. Of course, building a city is a process of exploration and experimentation. You'll try stuff out. Some of it you'll like, and some you won't. Want to change an existing road? Use the new Replace tool. It's like the old Upgrade tool, but with more freedom to refine your road network. Change your mind about a road? Bulldoze tool to the rescue. Click, 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 and that road is a thing of the past. Road building is more intuitive and nuanced in Cities Skylines 2, and every pathway has a far-reaching impact. Build your city's roads as a testament to your ambition and a promise to citizens that anything is possible.
I don't remember seeing motorcycles in Cities Skylines 1, but correct me if I'm wrong on that. Still cool to see them in here regardless. I do wonder if there will be a policy on shared lanes or not in Cities Skylines 2. Like, you know how like in California, motorcycles can just ride between the lanes. It's petrifying. I kind of hate it. And then like elsewhere, they have to like stay behind and in front cars. Like they can't just like ride the line. But it'd be an interesting policy to have for sure, especially if like, I don't know, like you have lots of traffic jams and maybe the only way to somewhat alleviate traffic is to allow motorcycles to just like ride between traffic. This was cool to look at as well. I don't know if y'all noticed, but the arrows on the streets for the turns perfectly match the angle that the road is going to be going. Like look at how that turns versus like this and these. So that's just like a nice detail to include. This looks like like parking on the curb here, or like adding parking to the edge of the road. This is not, you can add parking to parts of the road. That's really cool. It also looks like these tracks just go straight through and then have their own thing here. I think that's like neat. Like these complex interchanges were just not possible. Look at this like little U-turn situation we've got going on here. That's really cool. This is cool. They did mention this in the dev diary about how you can have the speed change on an off ramp. This one goes from 70 to 55. That's pretty cool. Also, for some reason, this road is going at 35. Maybe the highway's below, and then this is like more of a local street. I can't really figure it out right now, but I love how we can have these layers in our city now. I would like to point out, because this was something I mentioned in my last video, the UI has changed. Remember how I said they're gonna have to change the UI, it's not readable, it's not accessible? They changed it. This is readable. They made it darker. Essentially, they didn't change the design overall. Like the aesthetic is the same, but they made it darker so it's actually readable. So props to them for doing this. I did notice in this trailer, it does kind of flip back and forth between older footage with the UI from the last video with this newer UI. So I think it's still like in development, but it's great. I'm glad they did this. It's exactly what I predicted as well. So feels good. This is mentioned in a lot of other videos, but now we have this like water trade. I guess we can literally trade with different cities, as well as sewage export. So I'm not exactly sure what any of this means, but fascinating. Also groundwater deposits, I guess, for where we put our little water towers. Just, there's a lot more management in this game. This bridge shot is great. It looks so nice. Yeah, and as you can see, there's no keys currently in the game. I definitely think they're going to add it with the bridges and ports expansion, for sure. There's no way they can't. And that's the difference between the two styles of roundabouts. We've got this like green one with a nice little brick enclosure. And then we've got this one that's just like a regular looking concrete roundabout. It does seem like they're like easily swappable styles. At least I would expect them to be, considering how we can use the replace tool on the streets. I would imagine it's a similar sort of thing for the roundabouts. Also, what the heck is going on with this? This looks really rough. I really hope like the ground tools are like easier to use in this game. So I wonder if the paid parking spots are something that we could just use to generate more revenue for our city. The way this the way this works is sick. It snaps to each lane and then it's just that easy to build an exit ramp. What do you think of my speculations? Do you think it's possible what I'm saying will come true? How do you feel about what they've recently released? Are you excited for these features? I feel like if any of you are not excited for the new road tools, I don't know what to say. Like, maybe you just like to be punished, because everything seems just like they're making it as like easy as possible for someone who's new to the series to use, as well as for people who are super familiar with the advanced road tools, just to make our lives easier so that it just isn't as complicated. So I really think the Colossal Order team has done a great job with these. I'm really excited to see what other new features we can get. God, there's like a fly in my room. But I'm excited to see what other new features will come to the game as we get more and more diaries released. And I just can't wait for more. I just can't wait for the game. Anyways, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more, because I will be releasing a new video for every dev diary, hopefully. So long as I don't lose my voice again. All right, see you next time.